Hey everybody out there in the land of YouTube. This is Annette Dion and I'm coming to you with a pop-up PNN from early evening atop the rock. I hope you had a good day. It's starting to cool down here finally. It's been a very hot day. Not complaining, but it's a lot more comfortable now anyway. Today we're hearing a whole lot about Jeffrey Epstein, and what I want to say about that is it's really important that we confirm that Dumpy is all over those files and that he's on the Epstein list, and Bondi is lying, and they're all lying. And it's a further example of how much they lie. I always think of Alexei Navalny when he was talking about Putin, and that line always sticks in my head that he said about Putin: he never stops lying. That's what fascists do. So I would like for everyone to just kind of move past that in a certain way. And here's why. Because in the current environment, the current climate that we're in, nothing will be done about the fact that Dumpy is all over the Epstein files. But by the same token, it's one more thing to add onto the pile of heinous, unspeakable, horrible crimes that he has committed. And it's one more thing that we can point to say, aha, MAGA's turning on him about this too. And they're turning on him because they thought that all these Democrats would be on the list, right? But now, since Dumpy's on the Epstein, in the files and on the list, of course, of course they're all mad, and Dumpy's he comes unglued when he's asked about the Epstein files. So we've seen enough, right? We have all that we need there. They're distracting us too. The news is distracting us. Or they're attempting to distract us from all the other heinous things that they're doing. Because if the news is going to cover this and all this, then we're not talking about Iran, we're not talking about the murder bill, we're not talking about the human trafficking that they're doing and under the guise of, oh, we have to deport these dangerous migrants and immigrants. What they're doing is they're selling human beings. Make no mistake about it. What I want to do, I think I'm going to do this daily, is I'm going to gauge where we are collective consciousness wise on the American people hitting that critical mass. And I know I've asked it before, but it changes day to day. Where we are have we reached critical mass on the let's say the MAGA turnaround, in terms of they're not going to be for him anymore. I know they're still out there, and what's becoming very clear to me now is how extreme it needs to get to crack the cult mind. And the horrible floods in Texas that's pretty, I mean, we're there. We're there in terms of what would make them wake up. Because when you're in cult mind, when you're in a cult and you're in cult mind, it takes something really drastic. I'm just going to mention Stephen Hassan, who wrote The Cult of Trump, and also a very good book called Combating Cult Mind Control. He was in a cult. He was in the Mooney cult back in the 70s, Stephen Hassan. Look up the book The Cult of Trump. I mention it frequently. He was driving, he was so exhausted from having worked so hard for the cult, getting barely any sleep. He got into a massive car accident and broke his leg. And that's what gave the opportunity for him, because he was in the hospital, to stop and to look at what was going on, and his family did an intervention. All these kids drowning, I mean, the pictures are heartbreaking. Young people, teachers, counselors, members of robust, wonderful communities gone. So let's see what, okay, where are we at with the MAGA cult mind being cracked? I'm going to do this on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being pretty high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're about halfway there with the cult mind cracking, waking up out of their mass hypnosis. So that's better than 10%, right? Okay, I'm going to pull some cards. I only brought the deck of character. I just came from giving blood. I'm a little woozy. It happens. I'm just laughing because it's like it happens to a lot of people, and I think it was the heat. But I'm O negative, and it's my duty to civilization to give blood, because anyone can use it. I have my deck of character. Please consider, no, don't just consider booking a reading. Please book a reading. psychicannetdion.com. Putting out a lot of energy. I would just like to receive some in the form of financial compensation. That's all. It's just, I'm just being human. And there's a special offer for new clients. It's only $60 for a mini reading, and you can get to know how I work on the one-to-one personal. So 3 cards. I'm gonna pull 3 cards on Elon, on what is up with him. I heard a really interesting interview with somebody, I think it was on Midas Touch, somebody who is an expert on cults and that kind of thing, and has been following the Peter Thiel, Musk, you know, their whole mindset, and how they were brought up really weird. They didn't have any semblance of a healthy emotional environment. Their dads were abusive, and not that that's any excuse. But as far as Elon goes, and Peter Thiel and all the rest of those horrible demonic people, they just want to populate the world with clones of themselves, and they want to implant chips into humans so that we can be like hybrid human robots. So I'm pulling 3 cards on Elon just to see where he's at right now. He's in the swamp. He's drained the swamp. He's in the swamp. He's part of the swamp. He's fallen into a hole, Elon. He's kind of powerless right now. He's coming out like a fiery dragon. And the devotee, this is, no matter what happens, he knows that he needs Dumpy in order to get what he is after. That he needs Dumpy's position. He needs what comes with the position of POTUS. Let's pull 3 cards on Dumpy. Alright, oh, it feels so nice and cool up here. You see the beautiful boat? I know you don't have as good of a view as I do, but it's really, they're doing a sunset sail. They do that every night. It's so beautiful. 3 cards about Dumpy. If you're a member of my channel, I just want to let you know that I did post the first video of how to be peaceful, and there'll be 5 of them. And if you don't see the join button, I've been a little remiss at making sure that I copy and paste the page that says join. There should be a join button. Dumpy's status right now. How is he feeling? I'll ask a specific question. How is he feeling about his position as POTUS? Does he feel stable and secure and locked in, or is it something else? I did see a video just a little while ago of him going off on some kind of a rant about the gold paint and I don't know if he was in the Oval Office or what, but Marco Rubio was there, and I think Hegseth was there too, and Fox News cut back. They had to cut out of him talking about gold paint. In the midst of all this insanity, he's talking about the gold paint, and then he's like he was a decorator or something. And then he got really, really mad. I don't know if it was the same interview, but he got really, really mad at a reporter that asked him about the Epstein files, because the MAGAs want to know, right? He went off. He came unglued. Like, why are you asking me about that? We shouldn't be talking about that. Well, I don't know if you should be talking about gold paint either. And he's talking about how, oh, we're in the middle of this big thing in Texas, and this. He was going on about all the, oh, but we have such much more important things to talk about, after he just went on this spiel about gold paint. I know. Angsty teen, I get this card all the time. It's like, there's more than 78 cards in this deck of character. Angsty teen. There's a message here. I get it about Elon, I get it about Dumpy. Usually those two. Dumpy knows he has blood on his hands. This Texas thing was his doing. And now he's nervous about people. I mean, these are Texans. This is MAGA country, a lot of it. And he's really nervous about what they're going to do to him. What the Texans are going to do to him. As he looks in the mirror, he's not seeing very clearly. He needs glasses looking in that mirror. So he's very nervous about what's going to happen in Texas. Speaking of Texas, let's ask about Greg Abbott. Last night we read on Ted Cruz. Oh my gosh. And I just got that he's done. I'm just going to pull two cards about Greg Abbott. Trying to act like he cares, right? He's also needing to look in the mirror. This is, and I don't mean like they're looking in the mirror and they're having a big soul-searching moment. What I mean is they're looking at how they're looking. You know, like what people are seeing, what's being reflected back to the people. And the magnet, yeah. Abbott attracted this. He attracted this disaster by not caring about people. One more card, actually, about Greg Abbott. All his little elves, all his little minions. Now, what I want to say about this, too, is Abbott's got people in the media trying to cover for him in the face of this massive disaster. And he's also worried about what the parents of these children are going to do to him. This is bad for all of them across the board. This is horrible for all of them. Just because when it comes to life and death, and in a way, as horrific and mind-bogglingly, mind-numbingly awful it is when there are school shootings, that is different from this. Here comes a boat. These floods in Texas are different from the shootings because there's no laws about storms. So this is a trickier scenario for Abbott because You know, there's all those gun worshippers in Texas, Second Amendment, Second Amendment. But when it comes to weather and not insisting, maybe to Dumpy. No, don't cut Noah. Texas gets slammed by hurricanes every single year, not just one, right? He could have said something to Dumpy, Greg Abbott could have, and he chose not to. He chose not to. He chose to be all MAGA and all, I mean, well, pendulum said 50% of MAGA is turning away. It's half in and half out. We need to just up the numbers. And while I'm at it, let me just ask a general question. That was a nice cameo of that schooner, wasn't it? A general question. Is this fascist administration going to be ousted in the next month? In the next 2 months? In the next 2 months. So when I say ousted, maybe that's a tricky way to put it. But let me ask the wind. Yeah. Yeah, they're falling apart. They can't hold this together. It's not being held together very well. Tomorrow we'll read a little bit on either during the pop-up or PNN live on the whole ICE debacle, and I'm kind of having a sense that Stephen Miller's wife, is going to out him. So I'll leave that there. Stay tuned for more. Come back. Tell your friends. Come back to PNN live stream tomorrow night. And Off the Ledge is daily. Thank you for your kind comments. Please help me to grow this channel by hitting the thumbs up and sharing and subscribing. And if you hit the join button, if it's there, you can partake of all the free presentations that I have. There's a lot of them under members only under the videos. Okay. Hang in there. Do things that are uplifting. Stay peaceful. Enjoy summer. And I'll see you soon. All right. Namaste. Lots of love.